Do you think you have a good reputation where people will want to share with you ideas, where people will want to hear your thoughts on things? Or do you think that people don't like your reputation, where they don't want to interact with you and they don't want to share their thoughts and they don't want to hear your thoughts?
I think it would depend who you ask. I've been, how would described as someone who's very direct.
That was me this morning. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Some people in my life love that because they know I'm not just going to agree with them. I'm going to put thought into the things they say and give them my real opinions, and I'm also not going to fluff around. It definitely has rubbed people up the wrong way as well, though. So depending where it comes from, like that can be a really dangerous thing, is like how I'm being perceived by others. Now, I suspect that for some people it's brought them closer to me because they appreciate that and want that in their life. For others, though, it's been a repellent.
Yeah,
like It's definitely limited things. And I think that at times in my business journey, I definitely lacked the softer skills as well.
Totally. In an interesting way, I've spoken to quite a few people and it has worked in your favor, where people appreciate that hardness, that firmness, but also the intellect and everything that they talk to you about, which is why I think having a reputation of one way or another, or of intellect or unintellect, or asking good questions or taking ideas from other people, like are you a leech or are you growing into it, I think is critical. Because imagine being the person that you thought you had a strong network, but they never invited you out for that dinner. They never took you to those meetings. They never gave you those opportunities. Why? Because you had a reputation of being a taker, or you had a reputation of not delivering, or you had a reputation of biting off more than you could chew. You always overpromised and underdelivered, and that was your reputation. The profit or the opportunities for you to create profit, whether it's financially, business, or relationships, disappears, right? Because your reputation is the one that's tarnished everything.
I might have to reframe. I actually think this might be the biggest profit killer on the list. So
yeah, totally.
I know I said it earlier about like not on personal development, but maybe I'll just keep saying it for the rest of this episode.
The next one could be it too. This one.
Yeah. So I know someone right now who doesn't have a good reputation. They actually have a reputation of like screwing people over in business deals. And it's like it's spread. It's actually spread where I know people that won't work with that organization because of what, and they can't even confirm it, right? Here's the thing. They've just heard rumors of what this person's done and their behavior.
Yep.
So you got to think about there is if you've got a reputation of screwing people over to the point where it's spread and other people don't want to do business with you because of that reputation, that's a profit killer.
But it's completely silent because you would mostly never know that the reason that people weren't getting your services or weren't giving you these opportunities is because second or third degrees of connections have told them not to. And
that's what makes this one even more important to take serious, does it not? Like, I would argue that most people haven't spent enough time asking the question, what do people say about me and my organization when I'm not in the room?
I love that. That's great framing. I wish more people spoke about this reputation one. I'm just thinking back to the amount of times that I've gone to seminars, conferences, and like meetups and stuff like that. And just the volume of questions of people just like taking, where they're just like asking questions for their own personal gain. And then I see them again and I'm like, I never want to talk to this person again because I'm like, they're not adding any value. They're not actually building a relationship with me because in my mind, I see them as someone who's only in it for themselves and not in it for the greater good, which means their personal reputation to me has just been completely tarnished.
Can I share some more on this one?
Do you want me to give you the bottle of gasoline too?
No. Well, let me set this point out. I went out for a lunch with someone and they treated the waiter at the restaurant poorly.
Oh, dude, that is not negotiable for me. Oh my. Continue. Go. Yeah.
Yeah, so see how you just reacted?
Oh, dude.
So I'm at this lunch. I'm thinking that I'm going to be having this meal with this person. We're going to do some business together. I see them be an absolute dick to the waiter, deal done, not doing it. Because I'm like, if this is how they treat them, it's like how they're going to treat us. And even then, I just think it's incredibly poor form. So when it comes to reputation, it's like I would look to these things and go like it's layers deep. So, and I hope people aren't doing that in general, because this applies both ways. But it's those types of things that can damage your reputation massively. I would also say what's really interesting is I've watched people, someone will buy something, it doesn't go well, and then they won't refund it. And it's like, then that person goes and spreads a wildfire on what happened from their perspective. And it's like, it doesn't lead to a good place. No. It really doesn't lead to a good place. So I would throw into things here that it's like worth always doing the right thing in the circumstance. Even if you feel like you're in the right, you're far better off taking a hit in the moment in an encounter with someone than you are trying to be all self-righteous, because if the damage they could do to your reputation could have impacts well worth the cost of doing a refund, for example, whatever it is.
I will say this, not to the extent of like going too far. Like if someone's done you wrong, like call it out, right? And you're a very personally direct person, and I try to be at times. Like it's not to say to be a pushover just to make sure you've got a decent reputation and things like that, right? Like don't try and act to be the person that you're not, right? Like there will be some people that will gravitate to my personality that won't gravitate to yours, Charley, and which is 99.99% people. No, and I'm joking. And there will be people that will gravitate to your personality, Charley. It's the same reason why, like in the fitness industry, like there are just so many different fitness influencers because people appeal to different things. Right? Your reputation is based off your personality. So it's not trying to be someone who you're not. It's still you want to stick to your brand. But the key thing about your reputation is, what is it? Somebody just don't be a dick. It's like, just don't be that guy, which is, I still remember. So I lived in the Philippines for a very long period of time. And there were two very well-known podcasters and internet marketers that lived in there. And I won't even say the city because I think people would connect it. And so they invited me out and I flew out to go and see them. And one of them is the nicest human beings I've ever met in my life, to the point that I've spoken to a lot of people about this person. And I'm like, I'm happy to introduce anybody. He was amazing. The other guy was the rudest guy I've ever met on the face of the super smart guy, great at making money and all these things. He got into a taxi and he's like, turn this chicken scratch down. What are you doing? He was offensive to people. He was, to your point, rude to waiters and everything. And these people are a duo. They're connected. And so it reflects on their brand. Because now I'm like, well, I would do it with this guy, but I wouldn't do it with that guy. So I won't do it with either of them. Because I don't want to be affiliated with that crap. Because my personal brand and my personal reputation is an extension of the people that I'm connected to, and they are, and I don't want them to be connected to me. So if people are like, well, if Grant accepts that type of behavior, what does that say about Grant? And so now it's like my reputation is based off my connections as well. Because I'm like, I'm never going to introduce them to someone else, because then when they see that, they're like, huh? This doesn't align to what I thought Grant was.
Hey, fellow business owner, if this topic and value-packed short video has resonated with you at all, and you want to dive deeper into being a full stack business owner, check out the full episode by clicking the link on your screen or in the description right now.